Bitter criticism. Friday. I'm in love. I am. I am in love. Well, I'm far away from the microphone. The microphone is in the other way, but is a great time for reading news, I guess. Reading news from CGTN right till the end. CGTN. See the difference. President Xi calls for China-EU cooperation. Oh, this is the same. I just read that. They didn't change it's the same day in China. So I'm going to read some news. Well, no, they are different news actually. They are not the same news. Interesting. Look, there's an interesting news from CGTN. Not a big text, not a huge text. 2 minutes read. World, July 25, 2025. CGTN poll. World grows accustomed to America's quote-unquote absence. And there's a photograph. The UNESCO headquarters in Paris, France, July 23. UNESCO headquarters in Paris. Didn't know that it is in Paris, but there you have. UNESCO is in Paris. The US withdrawing from international agreements and organizations is hardly news. So what's the surprise if it's leaving UNESCO for the third time? The US is leaving UNESCO for the third time. A global poll conducted by CGTN finds that 84.2% of respondents are unsurprised by the move, indicating that the international community is growing accustomed to America's habitual quote-unquote absence. This quote-unquote America First unilateralism makes the pursuit of true multilateralism all the more urgent and necessary. The US government's justification this time was blunt. It accused UNESCO of advancing quote-unquote divisive social and cultural causes that conflict with its America First policy. According to the poll, 93.5% of respondents criticized the US for turning international institutions into tools for its political calculations. In February 2025, US President Donald Trump ordered a review of UNESCO over alleged quote-unquote anti-Israel sentiment. The poll shows that 90.7% of respondents see the latest withdrawal as further proof of America's entrenched favoritism toward Israel, while 91.1% argue that its transactional approach to international organizations neither benefits a major power nor serves the collective interests of international community. UNESCO Director General Audrey Azoulay called the US exit regrettable, but said the organization was prepared. Quote, thanks to the efforts made by the organization since 2018, the decreasing trend in the financial contribution of the US has been offset. End quote. The poll reveals that 88.1% of respondents believe America's habitual practice of treaty breaking has severely eroded its credibility and global influence. Meanwhile, 88.7% say its withdrawals from international organizations show a policy tilt toward anti-global governance. the multilateralism and resistance to international mechanisms. In addition, 66.7% of respondents fear America's exit from international organizations could spur other countries to follow suit, inflicting further harm on the international community. Another 92.8% call on the world to join together in practicing genuine multilateralism and advancing a fairer, more equitable international order. Conducted across CGTN's English, Spanish, French, Arabic, and Russian platforms, the survey gathered responses from 9,097 participants within 94 hours. And they are talking about Thai-Cambodian conflict. I'm going to read it anyway. Politics, July 2025. Wang Yi, oh, I love him. Wang Yi is the forever friendship. Forever friendship, Wang Yi. China supports solution to Cambodia-Thailand clash in ASEAN way. In ASEAN way. Support solution. And there's a photo of forever friendship Wang Yi with also a Chinese foreign minister. Wang Yi, also a member of the political bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, shakes hands with somebody. I never can read. Shakes hands with ASEAN Secretary General Cao Kim Hoard in Beijing, China. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I guess Thailand and Cambodia are both members of ASEAN. I'm pretty sure about that. China supports the mediation efforts of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, to resolve the dispute between Cambodia and Thailand through the ASEAN way, said Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi during a meeting with ASEAN Secretary General Cao Kim Hoorn in Beijing on Friday. China and ASEAN should work together to safeguard regional peace and stability. Wang, also a member of the political bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, told Cao the clashes between Cambodia and Thailand, which have resulted in casualties, are quote-unquote deeply distressing and concerning, Wang said. The root of the issue lies in the historical legacy left by Western colonialists, said the Chinese foreign minister, urging calm and proper handling. China appreciates and supports the active mediation efforts of the ASEAN share this year, Malaysia, to promote dialogue, consultation, and political resolution in the ASEAN way, said Wang, as a friendly neighbor to both Cambodia and Thailand. I'm not sure if China have borders to Cambodia and Thailand. China is committed to maintaining a fair and impartial stance and will continue to play a constructive role in de-escalating tensions and stabilizing the situation, he said. I have zero clues. Looks like this is a conflict of territory. I saw the map. I don't remember now, but one country invaded another one, China. Let's see if China is a neighbor, really a neighbor of both countries. It's not a Thailand neighbor, but it's close. It's close to Laos. Yeah, China has frontiers with Laos and Vietnam. Oh no, not Cambodia. None of them, but it's definitely close to Thailand and Cambodia. Yeah, so we are waiting the Pepe Escobar article. We are waiting for Pepe Escobar news. And I guess I didn't read. It's not the very same article as yesterday, but China definitely wants to be friend to EU. President Xi calls for China-EU cooperation to provide more stability, certainty for world. I guess not the very same. Politics, July 24. Chinese President Xi Jinping at center shakes hands with President of the European Council Antonio Costa. Oh no, this is the same. I just read this yesterday, I guess. Yeah. And what else? Let's read South China Morning Post, I guess. You know, I was watching a lot of bullshit from South China Morning Post, like sensationalism. But I guess that's what sells. South China Morning Post. Let me tell you, on YouTube there's a lot of bullshit, like sensationalism, like a woman that was trying to get slim to lose weight and ended up almost dying, something like that, you know. Sensationalism. South China Morning Post. What else? A lot of bullshit, but I'm going to try to read some bullshit from China. U.S. House aims to renew China initiative to maintain America's competitive edge. Not that bad, but I guess this is not free newspaper neither. Just like some Chilean newspaper. U.S. House looks to revive China initiative to quote-unquote maintain America's competitive edge. Victim of original China initiative, Gang Shen said program was quote-unquote ultimately weakening, not strengthening our national security. 2-minute Science News. Lynching in Ohio. I don't know who is lynching. Maybe a journalist. The U.S. House is poised to advance a key spending bill that could revive the controversial China Initiative, a program that unfairly targets Chinese American researchers, derailed careers, and devastated lives long after it was ended in 2022. The fiscal year 2026 Commerce, Justice, Science and Related Agencies (CJS) appropriations bill does not name the program directly, but language in the accompanying report calls for its establishment to quote-unquote maintain America's competitive edge and counter China's malign ambitions to steal American research. A scheduled committee meeting to debate the bill was canceled on Wednesday, but experts said the provision was likely to remain as the legislation moved towards the Senate. Oh, and that's it. I cannot read anymore. Not a free newspaper. And I'm running out of. Let's see. Xinhua News. Sometimes you can go right to Xinhua News. Yeah, Xinhua News English. Not a beautiful site, but this is just like TASS from Russia, I guess. China receives credentials of new ambassadors to China. It's like SEO scholars gather in central China discussing cultural heritage protection, utilization. What? China's innovation-driven growth provides new opportunities for global investors, British business leader said. These two are interesting. Xinhua Net, top 3 from the highlights. They have only 3 highlighted news. SEO scholars gather in Central China discussing cultural heritage protection utilization. I still have I still have memory. Source Xinhua. We are in Xinhua Net. Xinhua editor Huaxia. This is from today, July 25. Experts and scholars from China and abroad, along with representatives from SCO media and think tanks, engaged in discussions on cultural heritage protection and utilization at a summit in central China's Henan. Hashtag global link. Oh, that's it. A short one. And the next one says, oh, I appreciate this because it's not moving, you know. The highlighted news are not moving, so you can take your time to stop, you know. Yeah, and then you decide when to take note. CGTN, take note, please. You are turning the news too quickly, too fast. I'm not a native. China's innovation-driven growth provides new opportunities for global investors, British business leader said. Source Xinhua, editor Huaxia. Oh, Huaxia. Xinhua News Agency run by Huaxia. And there's a photograph. This photo shows electric vertical takeoff and landing, EVTOL, aircraft parking in a charging hangar at Luogang Park in Hefei, East China's Anhui province, July. Well, like taxi, flying cars, something like that. Perry praised China's accelerating pace of innovation, asserting that the country is now a global leader in productivity and technological advancement. London, July 24, Xinhua. China is reshaping its growth model around strategic self-reliance, innovation-driven productivity, and systemic capabilities, which present fresh opportunities for foreign investors, said Jack Perry, chairman of the 48 Group Club, chairman of the 48 Group Club in Britain. In a recent interview with Xinhua, Perry highlighted China's economic performance in the first half of 2025. He pointed to robust GDP growth alongside the rapid expansion of high-tech and equipment manufacturing sectors, the digital economy, and research and development investments, all of which, he said, underscores China's pivot toward high-quality development. Quote, China is not only rebalancing what it produces, but also how and why it produces, end quote, Perry said. Quote, there is a clear emphasis on integrating artificial intelligence, AI, deployment, green energy transformation, industrial sovereignty, and the dual circulation model designed to weather geopolitical turbulence. Perry praised China's accelerating pace of innovation, asserting that the country is now a global leader in productivity and technological advancement. AI is already being deployed at scale, robotics are being commercialized, and digital infrastructure is operational, end quote. He noted, quote unquote, China is executing a long-term strategy that other economies still only talk about. The photograph shows a robot makes coffee at a booth at the 26th China High-Tech Fair, CHTF, in Shenzhen. This kind of fairs only happen in China, you know. It's a good idea, but only actually works in China, because only in China there is innovation. South China's Guangdong province. CEO of London Export Corporation, Perry noted growing global demand for Chinese innovations. Quote, companies across the Middle East, Europe, and South America are seeking high-quality, smart technologies from China, not because they are cheaper, but because they are better, end quote. China's vast and evolving consumer market also plays a pivotal role in shaping global product strategies. Perry added, with a growing middle income population that is digitally integrated, quality conscious and values driven, the Chinese market is driven as a shift in how multinational firms design and adapt their products. Quote, this is no longer about exporting to China, he said. It's about designing with China. He cited the 48 Group's recent delegation visit to China's Shandong, Zhejiang, and Beijing, where British companies were invited to co-develop new platforms with Chinese partners in areas such as smart retail, and low-carbon urban logistics. And there's another photograph, another exhibition center. Visitors view a car of Xiaomi SU7 series at the Zhongguancun Exhibition Center in Beijing, capital of China. This was in June 2025. In a time of rising protectionism and fragmented trade worldwide, Perry commended China's continued commitment to openness. Quote, while many economies are turning inward and building walls, China is doing the opposite. It is expanding partnerships, deepening trade ties, and strengthening global engagement, end quote, he said. He pointed to initiatives such as the Belt and Road Development and new trade agreements as evidence of China's proactive approach. Oh, I still have space in my Samsung memory. According to Perry, multinational corporations remain optimistic about China. Quote, some of the world's most forward-looking companies are moving closer to China, not away. Yeah. I want to go to China. I want to live in Hainan, but definitely I want to know all of it. I just want to relax myself in Hainan. They recognize the scale, capability, and innovation ecosystem as essential to their own competitiveness, end quote. He identifies several sectors that offer significant opportunities for foreign investors, including AI compliance frameworks, energy infrastructure, robotics export services, smart mobility systems, and trusted commodity platforms. And that's it. And there's a photograph. Jack Perry, chairman of the 48 Group Club, delivers a speech during the 2025 quote-unquote Invest in China UK session in London, Britain, April 4. So the most interesting factor here is that Britain is still kicking. Britain is still alive.